Hey everybody, this is Dave from Big Drum Adventure. Ben and I have had our drum set now for about a week and we've been having a lot of fun with it. We've been practicing quite a bit. We have a family friend giving Ben private lessons once a week, so he'll have his second lesson tomorrow and that's going really awesome.
Yay!
But we do have one problem, and it's with our snare drum. So yeah, look at the snare drum real close. The snare drum, when we're playing some of the other toms, gets rattly. You can hear the vibration, a ring, a buzz to it. Here, I'm going to play the low tom and listen to what happens with the snare. Okay, so you can kind of hear that when I hit the low and the high toms, I'm getting this buzz from the snare drum. And the problem is the wires underneath the snare, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the snare drum and flip it over so that you can see the wires and stuff, okay? So these are the wires that make it a snare drum. This is what gives it that kind of, I don't know what kind of sound you want to call it, but the sound that a snare drum makes, okay? And there's 3 different ways that you can tighten up these wires. First, you have this tab that attaches to the wires and comes through the rim and then hooks into this clamp, okay? That's what we're going to actually use to resolve the problem. But what you also need to look at is this clamp here, okay? There's a thumb screw that, as you righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, will let this part here go down to make the wires looser, or it'll pull it up to make the wires tighter. And then we actually have this clamp, which once you get everything else adjusted, you finally tighten the wires and it snaps it into place, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to loosen this up. Okay, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then I'm going to take my drum key here, okay, just a standard drum key. I'm going to loosen these 2 lugs, and just like pretty much everything else with the drum set, you start finger tight. So I'm just going to pull this tab as tight as I can by fingers and then tighten down this clamp again. Okay, so that's nice and tight now. That's got a good hold of that tab. So now I go back to my other side.
To that with the clamp in the thumb thing.
The thumb screw.
Thumb
That's
screw,
right.
yeah.
Good. So again, righty-tighty, and it doesn't move very much when you turn the thumb screw, but if you go righty-tighty, you'll see that the distance between the silver piece here, where the angle is, and the black piece decreases. So that means it's pulling it tighter on this side. So we go pretty tight, and then our final adjustment is to close that clamp, and it closes pretty tight.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to set my snare drum back on the stand. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about tightening my stand up right now just because for the video. So I'm going to play my snares, my toms again, and listen to the snare this time.
Oops.
Okay, it's still there a little bit. I can still hear it.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is just use this thumb screw, and it's really pretty tight, but just go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And wow, that's pretty tight as I can get it. So let's see. Let's try this again. That's a lot cleaner sound, this now, than what it was. I might still try and tighten it up even a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's the basics behind. If you get that real rattly, wiry, loose sound in your snare, the buzz, the hum, when you're hitting your toms, that's what you want to do, is tighten up those wires underneath, okay? That's it for this video on Big Drum Adventure. I hope you learned something good today. Again, we're not pros. We're just doing this, having fun and learning as we go. Keep an eye out for our next video. Ben's going to talk a little bit about moon gel. Peace.
Peace. Peace.